And hello, we're live once again. Today we're going to talk about virtual production and how to use Voyagers to do virtual production. So if you guys don't know what is virtual production, then we're going to find out this episode. I'm going from spaceships, like you can see, but today we're going to find out how to create this illusion of switching out your backgrounds with something live and use your lights to actually boost the immersion that you get from there. As you probably figured out already, I'm not actually talking to you from a spaceship. I'm going to you just from my living room once again. Still on lockdown here in Estonia, and just trying to find ways how to make it more interesting for myself and hopefully also for you guys. So I did a setup that looked interesting to me. I played around with it, and I hope that you guys will also learn some new stuff and maybe get inspired on how to also do more with little, as we're in this lockdown. We can't really get out on locations to do a cool shoot, etc., etc. So it's a really awesome tool to have if you want to boost your content creation in these times. Let's maybe start with what's going on here. So as you can see, I have this background. It's actually blue screen. When I move my hand, you can see this here. So also you saw before already that I'm switching out my background. So this is quite usual. Switching out your background for something else is nothing new. If you have a green screen at home, if you have a blue screen, you can easily do it. So why is this called virtual reality? I'm actually doing my background rendering or creating the background image live. So this is really cool for multiple reasons. For example, I can take any part of this that I have going on here and change it. So I actually tuned it up for this project right now. I actually changed my background. So usually you can go online, maybe get the video, get the picture that you like, put this in the background. But when you have to start changing it, if you edit the video, it takes time. If you edit the picture, it takes time. Virtual reality, or I'm using Unreal Engine for this, actually runs live on the background. So I'll show you right now. As you can see, I have this stupid text here that I can't get out because it's a preview, but I wanted to keep it as a preview so I can demonstrate you guys quite how easy it is for me to do things. For example, I wanted to create an immersion for my image here, and the way that I found it to be most simple is to actually play around with lights. So light that is shining on me is actually working together with the background. So you can see this Voyager is doing highlight for me here, and this kind of goes together with the image back there where the light is flickering. So I'll show you right now how easy it is to actually change parts of the image. So if, for example, I want this flickering light to be blue, now it's blue. It was blue at first also, but it didn't work so well. So why? In case, like I showed you before, I'm using blue background I can also show you here actually. Let's see. Let's do. Oh, I can do. Let's do filters. Sorry, guys. Yep, here. And let's take off our chroma key. So this is what actually happening. So this is my blue wall at home. I'm just using this as I don't have any blue screen. And you can still see the light play on me, right? So this light play is actually what is selling this sort of illusion right now pretty well. If you add the light play in there already, it's almost like 89% better than I don't know, streamers on YouTube have going on for themselves, because you can see most of the time that it's really fake, because this lighting on here doesn't really match up with the background. So I put my chroma key back on. Here we go. And also the light flickering here. Right now, you saw that I changed the light flickering in the background. I can also, now if it is blue, I wanted to say why blue didn't work, the blue color on me. The reason is really simple, as I'm using the blue background. If I now go to my Voyager commander, let's do this. Okay, and we're here. Now if I change this light to blue, for it to go actually together with the blue light flickering over there, you can see that as I'm chroma keying out blue, it's also now chroma keying out me, because I have blue light on me and I'm taking blue out of the picture. So this is what this kind of virtual on Unreal background is really good for. I found this background, it was really cool. I had a light there that was blue, and I'm like, oh shit, blue doesn't work on me, right? Because my background is also blue, you can see what happens. So I was like, okay, let's change the flickering color to something else. For example, let's, oh, sorry, changing the wrong object right now. Let's change, yep, let's change this black to, so I was just able to grab my virtual light in on my Unreal Engine, turn this to yellow, and then I'm going back to my Voyager controller here, selecting my light here and also turning this to yellow. So this is this is how you can really create this immersion, and it saves you a lot of time, a lot of headache when you have this virtual background going for you, because you can switch out things. So go and download a new background for me, a new scene, and switch my background up. So if I'm doing live streaming from home or something like this, it's a really cool tool to have. But it's not, I know that we're all right now sitting at home, maybe doing nothing, maybe finding new creative ways how to do something. This setup for certainly isn't only used for home setups. For example, it was used a lot on Star Wars, Mandalorian. Almost everything was filmed with the virtual background. The difference there, of course, was that they weren't actually using blue screen or green screen. They were using OLED panels. So why OLED is cool is because you have almost like you have a lot of contrast, and you don't have to chroma key everything out, so it really sells the effect. So if you want to learn more about it, Hollywood Reporter had a really cool article about it, and we were also on the frontier of this, as you can see on this picture actually. the guy holding here, the guy holding here a DS1. So our lights were primarily used exactly for what I'm doing today. They were using they were using our lights to once again this preview mode. They were using our lights to create this immersion that I was talking about. So they had this cool background, but they wanted to get the lights on the set to match, and they used basically same principles as I'm using. They had a virtual background, and they had their lights output in the same color, exactly doing same stuff that Unreal was doing in the background. So it's a really powerful tool, and this is how they matched up these images so well. What they were using was they were actually able to control DMX. DMX is the way that you control lights on big sets or movies. It's a data multiplex interface. You can read more about it if you're interested. It's basically just proprietary way of controlling your lights, and they were actually taking DMX values from Unreal Engine or vice versa. So if they change the light on their Unreal Engine, the light automatically changes also on the set. So this is how you really match up and create the immersion of what is going on. So I took my set. It was a space kind of I think it was what it was called. It's free. You can download it entirely free. Unreal Engine also is free from Epic Games. Go download it, go play around with it. Really awesome tool. Also free is our application Voyager controller. If you want Voyagers for yourself also, we have a really sweet deal right now going on our web page. Maybe I'll show you a little bit more about what's going on here. How am I using Voyagers for this shoot right now, or this setup? So I'll share my phone, as I don't have any more cameras right here. Let's see, where's capture phone? And yep, so this is like an overall view on my setup here. I actually right now kind of screwed up my blue screen. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute. Sorry guys, like this. So I'm going further away so you can see. Basically I'm using only 3 Voyagers for this. I have this Voyager here with diffusion for kind of it's a kind of key light for myself, soft key light. It's the main thing that is lighting up me. I have a Voyager here. Cool thing about Voyagers is that you can take the diffusion off, right? So I'm creating this flickering contour or hard light on the left side of my face that is actually sending the effect. So if it would be like soft with the diffusion, it would be so cool. But as I can take the diffusion off, I can really get what I want from my light. So, and here down on the bottom, I have one 4-feet Voyager just lighting up my wall here. This is not a really good way to light up your blue screen. You would want to have a more even lighting solution, but you know, it gets the job done. For me, it works right now. And I have my Nikon DSLR, just a messy Nikon DSLR going around from there. So I'm not using an expensive camera setup or nothing. This is just done using, oh sorry guys, let's go back. This is just done with 3 Voyagers and 1 DSLR. So okay, let's go back here. So, and let's put this also flickering there. So some of the time Unreal Engine isn't working because I'm doing all of this from one computer. Perfectly you would want to use two computers. So one is creating the background, and on the other one you are actually mixing these videos together, the background and the foreground, because we're in this state, in a lockdown. I'm gonna get any more gear, so I'm just using one computer for both of these, but as you can see, it gets the job done. And you can also see that I'm not using really expensive gear. Voyagers right now are with a really cool sale that we have going on, so you can grab them really cheaply for what they can do. And I'm just using the most regular DSLR and getting this really cool shot. So if I would have a full-size green screen, you can see here that I moved the Voyager that was on the ground, and it kind of messed up my lighting here. So you can see that there's this white light, or even bluish white light, coming onto this side of the face now. Yeah, not perfect anymore. It was better before. Let's see what we can do to change this. Can we do something? Come on, get it together. Okay, yeah, a little bit better before. Also a little bit more contrasty, a little bit darker, but that's how I like it. What's also selling this effect so kind of is the contrast that is there. You can see that it's really contrast image. Darks are really blacks are really black. Without highlights, we have some highlights. We don't have a lot of fill light. This is also something to remember, that if you have this dark background that I have, I think it plays relatively well, because if you light up 3D space, it doesn't look so good. You want to play with contrast, with lighting. Then you also want to have yourself. You have to think about how you light yourself. I would otherwise, if I wouldn't be doing live stream right now that I'm doing, I would even maybe go more contrasty. This is maybe still too soft, filling up kind of maybe this side of the face also a little, but as you guys also want to see me when I'm talking, then I went with this. Maybe I'll also talk about actually how I set this up from the Voyager Commander, so I think this is what you guys are also interested in. And from there we can also know why Voyagers are so good for virtual production. So let's go to Voyager controller here. So this is my project right here. Let's go back to my workspace. So here you can kind of see what's going on. I have 3 Voyagers that I was talking about, neatly spaced out in the workspace. And I have kind of a marker for myself and for the camera. So this is just for keeping things simple, letting you guys also know what I'm doing. You can read the setup like this. So if you want to know how I got these images in here, just use add picture. We support the PNG file right now. I don't see a lot of people using this frequently, but this is a really cool tool to have. If you think about it, if you have a blueprint of your setup or what you're going to do, for example, you have a shoot tomorrow, you already have a blueprint ready, then you can plan it out already. Also, I have done tricks like writing out like Voyager 1, Voyager 2, and then exporting the actual picture of the writing. So I have a picture with the Voyager if needed, or with the group of Voyagers. So it just helps me to figure out what I'm doing in the workspace. But what's going on here? So I have my key Voyager, as I was saying before. Here I do fit Voyager. You can see that I have mixed in a lot of red. This is once again to go together with the image in the background. You can see that we have a lot of red light there. And I have also now a kind of pinkish reddish color of a skin. This is actually what you don't really want to do when you're doing feature film, or of course it totally depends on the scene, but overall when you have red or pinkish color mixed into your face colors, what's the word I'm missing here, then it's really hard to color grade this when you mix in red here. But for my shot right now it actually works, and I'm not really so terrified of it, because I have red and light in the background. Guys, always remember when you do lighting, if you use color, which you can use, as you can see I'm using it right now, RGBTW lights. Voyagers are RGBTW. This means I can change, I can select any light color that I want. What I'm doing here is also I'm mixing in color, but just keep in mind, if you want to play around with colors, I like to do it, and right now it makes sense when you do it. If it makes sense, if it goes together with your scene, for example, a club scene or like this spaceship, of course it makes sense. I like to use it kind of regularly. A touch of color in there is also cool. Just don't overdo it. For now, it works really well. I actually don't have any, let's say, regular white color in here at all. This is kind of reddish. This is kind of greenish yellowish. So let's go back to my controller here. So this is my highlight. You can see it's doing an animation right now. You can see it flickering here also. And I have my 4 feet in the background, just lighting up my blue screen, as I showed before. Just 5-600 at 100%. What you would like to do ideally is to move yourself, the subject, further away from your blue screen or green screen to totally separate the lighting between the two. I'm actually still getting some blue just bounced back on me from the background. This is why this color keying isn't so great. You can actually see blue here, this blue like outline, and when I'm moving my hand, it's pretty good. It's not great. This is because I don't have a lot of separation between me and background. But this is all I had room for. I can't move anymore. This is not a blue screen like I was talking about. It just is it is just the wall that I have at home that is for some reason painted blue, and I can use this. So back to the Voyager controller. Constantly getting sidetracked here. So these are my 3 lights that I'm using. Really simple setup. In lighting also, this is kind of not your regular 3-point light, but this is what I do often, and this is actually what I do with Voyagers also, is that I'm using one for my, I'm using this one here on the right side as my key light. It's soft, and as I was saying before, you can also get, you can take the diffusion off. I can get this cool highlight on me. So you can actually do kind of 3-point lighting or basic lighting with only Voyagers. You don't really need harsh light. Of course, it's good when you have it, but if you don't, you can get by with Voyagers. I'm just using Voyagers right now. So key light over there, kind of lighting up my face. Harsh light from here, from the Voyagers without the diffusion, and 4 feet on the background there. If I would really fastly want to, let's go back to filters. If I would want to mix up my lighting, for example, if I don't have a virtual background to change out, this lighting setup also works. So I'll once again take my color key off from here. Let's go back to Voyager controller for a moment, and I'm going to change my lighting setup. Guys, always one thing that I would recommend for you to do is to save your scene. So just because you don't, if you're running on a handheld device, somebody might terminate your application, close it. If you're using multiple applications, they might actually fuck up and close. To put it lightly, it has happened to me. Then it's always good to remember to save your scene. So I have this set up right now. Really cool, really awesome, all beautifully laid out here. I'll go to setup, save my project, and I'll name this spaceship. Let's do testing. Save. Now if I want to do another scene or another lighting scene for me, this lighting setup still works. For example, I would want to play it without so many lights, so many color, as we don't have a background. I should just do white, maybe like a little bit warmer on my face, like this. I always like to do, if I have a warm key, maybe a bit cooler highlight. Let's see, 50 here. And I'll take the effect off from this also right now. And with the background, I like to play around. So I have a blue background right there. Let's actually see what's going on. Let's see what we can do with background. The color is blue there. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I can't do much. I can just mix in red basically to blue, and then it wouldn't actually like pop out so much if I don't want to use it. So let's do something like this. I would move the harsh light right now further back, and because right now it's really even, you would want to get highlight just like here. Yeah, that's pretty nice what you would want to actually get with these lights. But now I have this scene, almost the same lighting setup, so I would save this also. Go to workspace, setup, save project. Let's do what kind of interview? Yeah, it's kind of usually interview lighting that I save. So now I have this setup with the lighting. And if I want to revert back to my spaceship one, I can just go to load project, spaceship testing. It asks me if I want to load a video buffer to lamps. It says basically what it asks me is, do you want the lamps to do the effects that they were doing before? You want the lamps to take on the colors that they were showing before? I would hit yes, and you can see that I have kind of restored the previous setup. And when we put the chroma key back on now, then we are back in our spaceship. So yeah, it is a really cool lighting setup to have. You don't need anything more than Voyagers. Actually, they get stuff done. Just Voyager and the DSLR. So if you're running YouTube from home, if you're doing streaming from home, or if you want to do this virtual engine or anything, of course you don't only have to do YouTube. Just this is what people are doing right now, I guess. Then you can use Voyagers for this. What they also didn't mention was that why Voyagers are so good for virtual reality is that they are pixel by pixel controllable. So if you have these moving backgrounds with awesome colors and so on, it's not so much light output that you seek. It's more of shadow play. It's more this cool lighting animation going on the light really smoothly. So Voyager is really good for it because it's pixel by pixel controllable. So I'll go back to my Voyager controller here, and I'll actually add another effect to this light. So if you don't know, we're doing all lighting animation with video. So from our application, so I choose horizontal chase, for example. It asks me if I want to copy lamp position. I don't have to for now. I'll actually use alignment menu to get this quickly back in order. So I want to do horizontal, and I just want to do it a little bit bigger like this. And I'll take this from here. Maybe we can just put it a little bit faster. I also have these FX settings here. I'll show you how to use them later, how I actually did the effect that was going on me. Right now I'll just put up the speed a little bit. And I also want to do 100% effect for now. So it's buffering, and now it has almost done buffering. So you can see that this chaser is going really smoothly from one point to another. I can also use, for example, one of my favorite effects here called water. Let's turn it blue, as water should be, maybe. And here you can see really well that there is no like batches of 3 or 4 pixels, that you have this kind of lighting change. Each LED is changing individually. So I have really low intensity right now. Usually if I do water, I'll go like cyan more, and I'll take effect. You have also the opacity layer to an effect, so I would take it off. I would do like 75%. Yeah, this is much better. I almost never use 100% of the effect. Of course, if you want to do chasers on a car window or something, it makes sense. But usually I use like 90, 75%, because you also want to have a little bit of light going on, for example, on the subject's face, not just this flickering, because if you stare for it long, it just gets, it's strange out. So let's put this back here. Yep. So right now, let's go back to my setup in Unreal. You can see it once again. I have this blue effect going on here because it's blue, because I'm using blue backgrounds. I'm actually chroma keying my blue out of the image. I became a ghost once again. So right now is a good opportunity to actually show you how I made this flickering effect on my Voyager. So just change the color. Sorry guys, it bugs me out right now. Let's go back to yellow. So how I did this effect, I will show you. as I mentioned before, when for example, when they were filming Mandalorian, they took actual data from Unreal Engine and sent this to lights to get really the same light on the subject as was rendered out in the background. I'm not doing it right now because I'm not taking a picture out from the Unreal Engine and sending it to Voyager controller. I'm sure this can be done. You have Siphon and we have Spout that we support, that you can actually take the video out from different applications. For example, you can do this from After Effects. You can actually live do an effect there or do a show there and have it played back on the lights, almost making a light kind of a screen. But I don't have it right now. It wasn't. There was a Spout plugin for Unreal Engine, but Spout is for Windows. I'm using Mac OS. They didn't support Siphon more. Maybe I'm wrong. I couldn't find it. If you guys can, then let me know. I would also have a possibility to actually record my screen and get this image from Unreal that I'm using for my background. I could route this to my Voyager Commander and use this there for the background, so the lights would actually showcase what's going on from there, so I could get my flicker from there, flicking. But as I'm already running so many programs here, Unreal Engine, OBS, to make this live happen, and also our Voyager controller, I just don't want it. I didn't need to open more apps, to be honest. So this happens on the set. If you've been on a movie set or video set, this happens all the time. That yeah, there's a good workflow on how to do a thing, but for some reason you can't do it at this moment. Something is missing, some vital piece of the gear, and then you have to play around this. So how I managed to do this effect really quickly on my Voyager is that I just googled for a flickering light video, downloaded it, put it into my lamp. So I can show it to you right now. Let's go back to my Voyager controller. Before we do, let's actually once again take a look at our backgrounds. You can see I had this light flickering there. I myself made a flicker. I choose the color that I liked, and now I want my Voyager to do the same thing. So really fastly, how I achieved it. I'll show you right now. Let's go to Voyager controller here. So this is our lamp that was doing the flickering. Is that I went to I just googled around for a video of flickering light. I found one. So add new video. I'm just going to select it from my hard drive, downloads, and it's now going to be uploaded to our application, and I want to put it on my light. You can see here that it's a Shutterstock file. Because I'm right now just doing a tutorial for you guys, it's a preview. If you want to go on a shoot, of course, buy the actual video. For right now, what I'm doing, I'm just showing this. It's cool use. So from here, I'm actually mixing in color already. So let's take this off. So this was the video that I had, and you can see Voyager doing this effect already. I have a video here of a flickering light, and I just mapped my Voyager on the light. So yeah, flickering is pretty good, but I want to get this to another color. So I can also mix in a color myself. So I just took it, put it to yellow, a little bit more to the red side, and hit keep. You can see it's still a bit weird. It's not turning off completely because the video in the background is not totally dark in the meantime when it's off flickering. So from app release 2.2.44, actually going to check if the live is still going. Still going, cool. So from the app release 2.2.44 that I'm using here, you can see what version of the application you're using from setup and about, and I'm using 2.2.44. Guys, check if you have the latest firmware. If you don't, update your application to get them running as expected. If you don't see something, if something is missing for you, then most probably you're using the old version of the application. Get the new one and update your lamps. So where was I? I was now if I already have an effect on it, I don't want to do set effects again. I can use edit effects here. So that's what I used. I was here. So from this release we have, Jesus, I fucked up, sorry guys. From this release we have something called FX settings. So when you go back down here, you can change the lift and contrast. I would want to, I don't want to do lift. What am I doing? I want to do contrast. So I'll kind of max out contrast. So now you can see what the video is doing here. Now everything is kind of black, etc. Shut off when it's not flickering, and when it's flickering, then it's lighting up. So this is more what I want to achieve here. Also, effect should be 100. So now you can really see it, how the effect is going on here. So what I also did was that I didn't get the effect at 100 because I also wanted a little bit of highlight on me all the time. So I was doing more like 90 or 70 or 85 or something like this. So it's a little bit like also turned on, but flickering here. Okay, cool. I'm pretty happy with it. So I'll hit keep. And now when I go back to my setup here, and I also put the slight flickering there, then I can see, yeah, not quite right, too reddish. This light over there is a lot. It has less color mixed into it. This is what is so cool about having this virtual background and also having these RGB lights that you can totally choose color for yourself, is that I now can either replace out my background, I can actually change the light from here and turn it red, and now it actually makes a lot more sense. Maybe it's even too red. Let's take the saturation up a little bit. Or what I would like to do is keep my light still on warm side, but not so red like here. And actually I would like to change the color of my light in the Voyager Commander. So I'll go here and put it to more kind of yellowish side. Maybe a little bit like this, and I'll take the intensity off also because it's too bright at the moment. Let's do something like 50. Let's do effect 75, and let's do a little bit more kind of yellowish still. Something like this. Yeah, a lot better than before. Also, guys, one thing that wasn't mentioned is that as you saw, the flickering was much faster in the video. So this is something that I would want to actually match up also. I'll go to here, it was under FX settings, and I can change actually the FPS that it's played back on. So 30 is too slow. I think 50 will do the trick nicely. So now it's flickering much faster, kind of like it was flickering on the Unreal set there. So let's go back to my composite here, and let's see. Yep, that's pretty awesome. Let's do flickering here also. A little bit greenish in there, so I still have to change my color a bit to get it to match up. Also, if it doesn't work for you some reason because of the video, you can really easily open the same video on the application that you have on the iPad, on your maybe on your computer, and change the video a bit and then render it back out and use it in the application. For example, if I can't get this color to match up entirely, I would just go to After Effects, turn saturation to 0. From there it will be only black and white flickering, and then I can mix in the exact color that I want to from our application. Right now it's not really perfect because it was already, it had a color already, and I'm mixing extra color into this. So this is why we're seeing a little bit greenish in there sometime. But as I said before, on the set you have to play around, you have to figure out ways to make things work. And as I was not able to get these video feed from Unreal out to my application, it is possible. I just didn't have tools to do it right now. I used this really easy example. I think it took me 2 or 3 minutes to find the video. I just put it in there and mix in the color. So this is kind of what I wanted to show you guys today. It was a lot of fun for me. I'm still new to Unreal Engine, but I got this done already. So I'm just using it for a couple of days now, and I'm not feeling like a pro in there, for sure, but I am getting hang around a few things. So if this interests you, go to a web, search more for it, search up Matt Workman, see what he's doing. He's running a really cool Facebook group about virtual reality and how to use it in video production and so on and so on. So before I leave you guys, we also have one cool new feature upcoming in our next app release. Maybe I'll do a quick demo for it. Let's see how it goes. For these tech demos, you never really know how it goes. So anyway, I can right now demonstrate it on our. Go to my webcam now. I can right now demonstrate this on my Android phone. So I'm opening up Voyager Commander application there. Let's see if I can show you my phone also. Capture phone. Okay, what's going on here? So, sorry guys. Yeah, I have lots of interesting applications. So I opened up my Voyager Commander. And it sends me an indication that there is another Voyager Commander already open in the same network. Indeed, it was my computer. So I'll turn my Voyager Commander off from here. I'll exit. And I'll hit OK from here. Sorry. What's really cool is that you see that these effects are still going on even when we don't have a controller anymore. This is because these effects and these light color, they're already saved into the Voyager. So when you lose connection to your controller, the animations on the lights are still running. They are uploaded to the lamps. I can switch the lamp, turn the lamp off, turn it back on. It still continues the playback of the effect. Really cool, really awesome. Also done because, also just done because you never know what's going to happen on set. You might lose your connection to your device that you're controlling it with. You might lose network that you're running from. For example, Video Assist might use the same network bandwidth that you are, and then you're screwed. Voyagers, once they have uploaded the animation file, will keep it playing back no matter what happens. I was demoing the new cool feature that we will have upcoming in our next software release. So for some of you who have used our app extensively already see what's going on here. Little kind of prequel for me would be that I have my phone here, and let's say I have a Voyager in a toilet, and I want to go to toilet. I want to light up my toilet with a Voyager because I don't like to sit in the dark. And I also would like to keep reading morning news on my phone. This means that I don't want to change networks for example, if you just connect to your Voyager, it doesn't have an access to the World Wide Web, so you can't read your morning news or scroll for memes when you are connected to it. So now there's an easier way to connect your Voyagers to networks. Another cool example would be if you go to a rental, there's a bunch of Voyagers there, and you really fastly, you don't know in which Wi-Fi mode they are on. Are they masters, are they routers, are they clients, so on, so on, so on. You would really fastly would need to connect them to another network. So there is a way of doing this from our next app release, and it's with Bluetooth. If you guys didn't know, maybe you didn't because there's no there wasn't so much application for it before. Voyagers are also Bluetooth enabled, and now we can do this really easy network setup using Bluetooth. So I have my Voyager application open here, and you can see that it showcases me the Voyagers in the current network that my phone is connected to, and it's showcasing something called Add by BLE, that means Add by Bluetooth. So you don't have to, before, connect your Wi-Fi to your Voyager. You don't have to do it. I can just use Add by BLE. And now I have Voyager serials, and the number that is changing there is basically connection strength to the Voyager, just an indication. So I could have like 5 Voyagers here in different Bluetooth states, and when they are not connected to the network that your phone is connected to, they will show up here, and you can select them and move them to a network of your liking. So I have this Voyager 96 in my bathroom right now. I want to connect this to my home network to keep being in the Wi-Fi connection. This means like World Wide Web connection. I don't want to lose my access to internet. So I'll just select my Voyagers here, and I'll hit connect. And from here, it's quite similar. If you have done connecting to clients before from our application, you can just hit scan, and the phone will come up with Wi-Fi networks that are around you. We have our home network. That's my network right here. I can select it. You can insert your password, your router password, and you don't have to do anything else. Just hit set. Simple. So you can see right now that something in the toilet turned magenta. This indicates a Wi-Fi state change. So I just now configured my Voyager without actually being connected to it via Wi-Fi. I did it with Bluetooth. Much easier, much faster. You can see it right there. It's trying to make a connection to my home network, and it flashed green, and now it also ended on a green note. Sorry. So now I can just do add lamps, and I can see that my lamp 96 is also now in my home network. I switched it around without having to switch my networks on the phone. Really easy, really fast, really awesome. So I can just put it in here and turn it on. So you can see what light play is going on in my bathroom right now. Really awesome. So yes, this is the way that you can now do that you can in the future do the connection with your Voyagers. So we kind of we listen to your feedback, guys, and we we heard that the setup might not be the most intuitive one. So we just figured out a really fast way to configure, if you have multiple Voyagers, how to configure them really fast to different networks around you. So keep your eye out for software. Keep your eye out for when we have a software release. Just visit when you're on Apple, visit your App Store, visit Google Play Store from time to time, check if we have an update or not. We'll also post it to our socials, of course. Let's go back to this. Yeah, we will also, of course, post it to our socials, I'm sure. So just keep in mind to always use the latest software for your Voyagers. So this is all that I wanted to talk about today. We are already, I have talked about an hour, so sorry guys. There was just really awesome and interesting stuff to go over today. So I hope you learned something, that you got inspired. Maybe you want to try out these things yourself in your home or wherever you are locked up right now, as a lot of us are. And keep an eye out on our socials. And also we have a really sweet deal on our Voyagers right now. So if you want to do something similar to this, go and check out our web store or our landing page. So see you guys. It has been a pleasure. I learned something setting these things up. I hope that you learned something, and we'll see you again, I think, on next week. Let's see what we have in the cooking. Let us know what you want to hear about in the next episode. So it has been a blast. Keep being creative, and see you next time. Bye.